Okay, so
Are we live?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I can't see the thing. Oh, hi.
Hi. Hi. By the way, first things first, I didn't get out of the way. So there was a joke when people kind of came into it when I said Linktree.
What?
I was just saying there was a joke behind it because we dropped them in when I just said like check out my Linktree. And,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Video. All right. I'm tracking.
What's up, everybody? I am Mark Monroe, accompanied by my wonderful co-host, co-producer, co-creator, and all things galactic. Give it up for none other than the wonderful.
It's JolynGC in the place to be. And what does it, cousins, on this fine Tuesday?
Hey, we're on schedule. I'm loving it.
Are we not? Yeah, I guess we are.
We got the sunshine out. Look, we can see traffic happening.
The water is sparkling. It's looking nice in Seattle.
You know, downtown's looking very nice. And, you know, we hope that, you know, each and every single one of you will enjoy, you know, possibly seeing downtown Seattle very soon in its glory. But, you know, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
We got a lot to address today.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about earnings. Obviously, we have to tell you about the summit. We're going to talk about some economics. Mark was talking about wanting to do an S&P 500 kind of roadmap to certain numbers and targets. So that's going to be exciting.
I know, right? You know, like I said, these next 2 weeks could make or break the market. So
this is the time to pay attention. No, literally, this is the time to pay attention because we know that September is going to be a crucial month as far as maybe some changing of tides and possibly entries for people. So It's good to like know what's going on right now so you get yourself in position.
I'm just saying it's leap time. It's definitely leap time. So
if you're feeling froggy.
I'm excited because I really like this time of the year when things get volatile. Like for me, I like roller coasters. So, and like, who enjoys going on a roller coaster while it's like going all the way up to the tip top? It's like, you're just like, okay, when is it going to drop? And so
that just actually made my heart drop because I used to be a roller coaster junkie, little known fact. But then one time I went on some roller coaster at Magic Mountain, and there's a certain spot where I blacked out like every time. So I stopped.
No, I'm here for all
that. That was the last time. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
I love roller coasters all day, every day, and I love volatility, so I'm looking forward to it. So this is going to be pretty cool. So, so much to get into, so much to address. So where shall we start?
Let's start with earnings, but I just want to put on the record, there's a camera right here, so I'm like looking down, so I'm trying to look this way.
Well, the camera's there, but the laptop.
But I'm saying, like, so if you see me looking down, that's why. I'm going to try to.
And I may have to like look down too, so then that way I can like, if there's a comment or a question or something.
Yeah, I'll try to keep track too.
Yeah, see, like, you know, look, so then that just allows me to just look at y'all and imagine y'all like looking back at me. So, all right, so what company should I start off with? Like, let's just look. I don't know any of the companies, so
just pick one.
Lay one on me.
Just pick one, anyone. Off the top of your head.
All right, I'm going to go with AMD.
Okay, talk about AMD, because there's a lot of reports.
I know.
About the little engine that could, but go ahead.
Hey, look, you know, I don't know if they're the little engine that could
But anymore. I'm saying that's what the reports were saying. Barchart made a good article about that.
Shout outs to Barchart because they always like produce some of the dopest content and the greatest things for you to check out as it pertains to analysis. So if you haven't subscribed to Barchart, go ahead and do that. Shameless plug. But yeah, so AMD. So they recently had announced some new chips. Now we won't see those things fully reflected in this quarter's earnings.
But that's where you get back to this positioning.
Tis correct. So like a lot of the things we're going to probably hear like kind of like a broken record, where we're probably going to hear about a lot of companies that are on the cusp of something great. But just for the record, TLDR, most of the earnings are not going to be blockbuster during this quarter. We don't expect it, you know, but essentially the quarter that follows after, you know, if in a good world that's non, you know, trade war-esque,
right,
we will see that essentially that they will do well. So my expectations for AMD is that they will probably come in line for their earnings estimates. I think that guidance will be a slight tad light or in line.
Okay.
I don't expect them to like go astronomical, especially when you announce new chips. or when you're releasing new chips.
Gotta give them some time to cook.
You got to give it time to cook. So you're probably not going to see any of those things hit the street until probably, I would probably say about maybe next year. Probably around Computex, which takes place in January. We'll probably see it around that time. So.
Well, I mean,
now the stock today.
Now
look, that thing is
it was up. It's only a little bit down in the aftermarket though.
Yeah,
not even a full.
Which is giving me a reason to pause also. Okay. So, for example, we're seeing a lot of companies like literally hit their stride before earnings. And that's the thing that really gives me reason for caution, is because of the fact that we're probably seeing a lot of folks create new positions with the expectation that they believe that there's further growth upside.
Okay.
Which there is, don't get me wrong, but yet at the same time, it's a little early and we're a little long in the tooth. We've been on like this 3-month bull market run. And I think that ultimately we're probably starting to see a little bit of exhaustion alongside with you seeing Wall Street go on break. So yeah, shout outs to AMD for their magnificent run. I think when I saw it earlier today, like I think it was like up maybe, 6% or something like that?
Yeah, it closed at 6.41%.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. And so I think that honestly, like I would be a little bit cautious as we see stocks run up going into earnings. Typically when you see that happen, unless their earnings are just through the roof, like we just blew the top off of the ceiling, I would expect probably a slight sell-off in the stock.
Do you remember that lesson I learned about not even messing with the stocks during earnings? You all, I think it was Amazon. Amazon did me dirty. What year was that? 2020? Oh man, they did me so dirty. But that was one of the biggest lessons I learned, what Mark is talking about now, like not to fall for the okie doke when it comes to earnings. Wait until after earnings to formulate what your position is going to be. So because a lot of people are, they're banking on it going up. And it's mainly day traders, I feel like, driving it up, and then they leave, and then you're left holding the bag.
Well, the crazy part about it is now that we're moving into the summer quarter, we're really like low volume, a lot of volatility that's probably going to hit the market, and this is going to be pretty much a day trader's market. So essentially, like the expected, like alongside with the volatility, you're probably going to attribute that to your day trader side of the market. If I'm looking at a price target for AMD, I'm probably looking at, we could possibly either like, unless if we see AMD below the top, then the stock is definitely running at 160, 165. If we see that this, but if we see, say for example, that the stock ultimately just comes in line and it's kind of like meh, but we're rocking with it, we could probably see that the stock has a slight sell-off. So essentially going back down to revisit that 145. So we might have to retest that 145, 140 level. And then essentially from there, it probably look to rest unless we get like something else that's outside of fundamentals and earnings.
Okay.
I think
some other type of catalyst.
But as it stands right now, AMD has been doing pretty well. And I think that they're up for the year. I think they're up 20-something%.
They were up for the year. I don't recall what
I think they were kind of like neck and neck with NVIDIA. Now, of course, we're talking about a tale of two different market caps. But now it's like you have NVIDIA as the world's most valuable company. And then, of course, you have AMD running in second place in the chips in the semiconductor space when it comes to the big three of NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel. So
yes. So all roads lead to SMH. That's just how I feel about things.
Well, I mean, Jolyn, SMH has had a great run, but
they
need to take a little, it's time for a nap.
It is time for a nap. I think they're up by a little over 5% year to date, but they're going to take a break.
It needs a break. It definitely needs a break.
They will. I mean,
it's going to keep going though, but I think that we're going to probably see this rally like continue because of the fact that now NVIDIA also able to sell chips in China. Now it's not the chips
we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
But I think that ultimately, like, the DC is definitely listening to what Jensen Huang had to say, and ultimately, like, releasing some of those barriers for them to do business globally, especially in China. So I think that that's a massive opportunity upside for NVIDIA alongside with the rest of the chip sector. So
I'm just checking in on the comments that we have here.
Sure. So that's what I would say about that. So I'm gonna actually go into this next company because
which one? Because I see some.
I'm gonna hit Tesla.
Okay, that was one that someone requested.
So I'm gonna do that for Peyton because I think that he recently he just recently had a life event. So congratulations to Peyton.
Okay, good job for life events.
Been rocking with this for a minute, so this one's for you, sir. I'm going to say for Tesla, don't expect the numbers to be great. Don't expect the numbers to be great. I think that JP Morgan is highly shorting the stock, along with probably some other Wall Street players.
Okay.
I think that what's going to really, like, the earnings at this point for Tesla are not going to matter.
Okay, say more.
So what's going to matter is what the tail of the earnings call is. Now, in the days of our stock market saga, when we had Dan Ives came out with some interesting comments and notes for Tesla shareholders and board members to kind of consider to incentivize Elon Musk to, like, come on, get your ass back to work. And Elon didn't really like that.
He does not like to be told what to do.
He does not like to be told what to do. And he made sure that he, exactly. And he chose violence. And so the question is like, it's like, come on, not against Dan, not against our seersucker cousin. So
hi, Dan.
So I think that also Wall Street is going to be really, really like honing in on what is the commentary around earnings. How do you expect to get everything back into the saddle?
Right.
Robo-taxis, we've been hearing some issues there. So, what's happening? Like, what does it look like as it pertains to roadmap for, your nenext set of cities? Because Waymo is just, look, they're down the street. And so I think that that's going to be an interesting, like I said, earnings are not going to really matter for Tesla. I mean, we've already heard delivery numbers and everything else. So it's like you can kind of expect, like, you kind of already know what to expect, unless you see a little bit of a price adjustment, like where the car value has probably increased and the sale value increased. So that could possibly help as it pertains to profitability.
What's the chances of that, though? I feel like
depends upon if sales are at the point of, like, are we seeing that sales are stabilizing? Have we started to see, like, the worst is behind us? Or what does that look like? Do people still not want to buy Teslas because they think that Elon's crazy? There's a lot to unpack there. So we won't know until we see the actual earnings print. But in my best guess, I don't think that this is going to be a great quarter for Tesla. I think that if anything, at best, what it can produce is decent. Okay. So which means that they come in line. And then on top of that, we don't have a massive blow up or, apocalypse happen via the earnings call. So I think that that's the major thing to pay attention with as it pertains to Tesla.
Okay, so I Source World TV just said SMH is actually up 18% year to date. So they're really hot right now.
Shout outs to the fact checkers. We appreciate y'all.
Okay, so you did AMD, you did Tesla. I'm just looking at what some of the cousins are saying.
Bring it on me.
There is.
Somebody said something about CarMax.
Oh, I didn't see CarMax. You want to talk about CarMax?
I mean, CarMax, Carvana. I mean, I think that ultimately Carvana is probably the better play. But at the same token, I think it's just a state of, like, the economy, especially when we think about affordability. The crazy thing, Jolyn, is that I heard that people are out there spending $1,500 for a car that, like, maybe only costs like $28,000 or $30,000, and they're spending $1,500 a month on their car notes, which is wild.
A $1,500 car note?
Listen,
Lord, keep me from
the interest rates that they're being crushed upon. Yeah. Listen, look, you can have it. At this point, I think it's probably smarter to lease the car than it is to actually own or try to even own such a vehicle. But, I think that with that being said, I think that ultimately if we see that, like, trade war has kind of like subsided, and on top of that cost comes down, we did get an inflation print of 2.7% inflation, which came in line we're still like far from the Fed's target.
Yeah.
So, that's an interesting topic for discussion, which we may actually get into today. But yeah, I would probably say that currently right now, I don't think that the auto market right now looks very good. And so, the reason why I say that Tesla still has a better advantage versus your legacy automakers is because of its profit margins. Its profit margins do better than, say, the other ones. But again, like if you're not selling, then essentially it's like, okay, hey, you're kind of like cratering. And I think that ultimately what we're seeing across the board is I think that just the auto industry is just in that moment of, wait, and they're waiting on their turn.
Yeah, so, I wonder how much. What has Elon been doing about like just Tesla's ecosystem?
That's a good question. Elon, what are you doing about Tesla's ecosystem? I mean, like, because never heard anything about energy.
Yeah.
That's been quiet. Though that, they probably are making some strides here and there, like getting cities and, different municipalities on board. Let's see.
This Optimus. Dan was like, get back to work.
Optimus, and that's what, and now I feel very justified for selling my stake. For cutting my stake in Tesla to invest in OpenAI. But that's another story.
I'm just
saying, look, I did not see this as a winning year for autos, especially for Tesla. In the midst of all the things that are transpiring, especially when you think about inflation still remaining sticky. I still believe that we're either in a recession now or we're on the brink of it. And I will talk about something at the summit also that will go even further in depth. So I just want everybody to be prepared for that one because that's going to be a tough one.
This is the time right now, like this season, summer. This is the time to really. It's all about preparation and positioning. So.
Exactly. That's exactly the way that you want to look at it. You want to. Look for the bargains at this point. And right now, currently, it's kind of like that at that exhaustion point of there's no real bargains out there in the market. So just for those who watch that are newbies that watch CNBC a lot, shout outs to them, by the way, if you watch CNBC. But wait for the commentary on CNBC for folks to start saying I'm going, bargain shopping or I'm nibbling.
What did Malice say? What did Malice and Cliff say? Browsinaires?
Look,
I've been on that album all week. Yeah.
Currently, window shopping. that's what we're doing right now. Because right now, everything is ridiculously expensive. And the crazy part about it is I always see people get freaked out when we see sell-offs. Which is wild to me because I'm like, yo, everybody's so scared of a sell-off when it's like the sell-off is created to create openings for individuals.
That's how we have
to actually partake. So
now it's about preparation, positioning, and perspective.
Thank you.
We got to keep track of these lessons here.
Yeah.
Okay, so there were some birthday shout outs to Cancer Gang all day. So
we outside.
Mark's birthday is on Friday.
Yes, it is.
You care to tell the people how old you're gonna be?
I have no shame in my game. I'm officially joining JolynGC game. I'm going to be in the 40 club. What was it?
We're still in your application, okay?
Come on, you guys know I'm coming in on full ride, first in class. Nobody better. Look for the incoming class.
Okay.
Class president Mark Monroe.
So, yes, happy birthday early.
Thank you.
We'll celebrate, on the actual day.
Yes, we will.
So, let me see what else.
If you see me in the streets and my eyes look red, it's probably because I haven't been able to sleep. So.
Okay. Oh, so one other thing, Addicted to Sports LLC says, where y'all been? Where have you been?
What do you mean, where have I been? Look,
tell them where you've been.
I've been building tomorrow. That's what I've been building. Like, where have you been?
In the future. I've been building apps, actually.
Thank you. Wait, don't be spilling the beans now.
I'm not spilling the beans. I'm just proud of myself because, I've just been in that lab, doing what I do or whatever.
Well, the crazy part is I get to allow folks to join us in the lab at the summit.
Yes.
But I'm not going to tell you until you are there because...
All I'm saying is, you know me. I don't have the tech background. However, I've been in the lab cooking. Okay, I'm really proud of myself. So,
by the way, if you know the lyrics to that song that I just did, shout outs to you. hit me up via DM.
Okay, so hi Uncle Charles. He says Fortinet.
Oh, Fortinet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're talking about cybersecurity, cloud. I think that we're starting to see massive still investment. That's like, even though that we're seeing like companies cut back on certain things, I don't see decrease in spend happening in this arena. Could we say that Fortinet right now probably looks a little bit more expensive than everybody else? Possibly. Could their tech be a little bit, do they have the overall advantage over everybody? No. But, I mean, as it pertains to overall stock, I think it's still a good play. I think that we could probably see a solid earnings beat across the board. But at the same token, given the run-up, I think that we could probably see that the stock kind of resets and resettles.
Okay.
Unless we see a blockbuster earnings beat from Fortinet or any of the cybersecurity or cloud service providers, that could change everything. And essentially, we could probably see them go out to like meet new, I don't know about all-time highs, but meet some new highs.
Okay. Yeah. So, is there any other company you want to get to before we move on to the next topic?
I want to get to two. So I want people to pay attention to Netflix because I know that I talk a lot about like hardware-based companies, but let's talk about a company that's more so software services, and I think, or like services related. And so honestly, I think that they've been like the slow, silent like assassin that's been like literally crushing it. Okay. And I think that ultimately, if hardware-based companies ultimately might get a little bit, what's the word? Oversaturated. I think that we could probably see that like Netflix could be that company that becomes the run to safety. So, for example, if we see like on days like today, where I think Netflix and Meta, they kind of like trade hand in hand with each other. Yeah. Within that software tech company focus, I think that ultimately with Netflix, I still expect the earnings beat. Oh, by the way, there's this new show that I like that's
on
coming
Netflix?
in from Netflix.
What?
So it's kind of like I don't do dating shows, but they have this show where it's kind of like Love Is Blind, but for music artists. Oh, it's amazing. Whereas like the artists can like literally they sing and then they get voted and then they can also choose to make their own bands. Oh, so
interesting.
I like that because it's letting me know that they're venturing outside of the standard model of like dating, I don't know, whatever island that you're on and all this other stuff.
Love Island. Shout out to Nick Leandria. Go ahead.
I'm oblivious, so I don't know. But yeah, I literally watched that show in one sitting.
Okay.
So
all right.
Yeah, so it's a good idea. But yeah, I think that if they're doing more things like that. Now, one thing I will say this though, that's not earnings, but I am looking at acquisition targets for Netflix. And I've been shouting this out from the rooftops about EA and Ubisoft. Now, I don't know if Netflix is going to buy EA because EA's kind of gotten its act together. Shout out to listening to yours truly, but you're welcome. I'll take my commission check if that's there. But yeah, I would say that Ubisoft is probably an acquisition target because when you think about the titles that they have, this ultimately is going to be probably a highly bid stock. It's going to be sought after because you got the Tom Clancy, you got Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia, and so many other titles that are associated that you can turn into live action films, right, or TV shows, and compete. There you go, the merchandise, and then on top of that, you can compete against Disney.
So what's interesting about that? So if we look at Peacock as an example of what it looks like to have the full kind of show experience. So as some of you may know, I don't know how many people watch it, but Love Island US has been taken over, right? Like it's all up and through social media, all on your FYP. So one of the things that they have an app, and on the app that you can vote, you can interact, and you can also buy merch. And the merch is based off of like whatever happens in the show, and they have like their standard items. They also have a lot of product placement.
Oh, they're listening now?
So I'm just saying, imagine.
Didn't I say this like a year or 2 years ago?
I think like 2 years ago. But just imagine, like that's like a microcosm. So imagine Netflix doing that across the board with their most popular shows.
Huge.
And really taking over this whole like app experience.
They had to have made money off of Squid Game outside of just the show. They had to. Like the merch was just like right there for the taking. If you like, I know that you missed it out. I know that they missed out on Stranger Things. But if they did not do that for Squid Game and somebody else just like started just like earning money off of that, that's shame on you. But I think that they did it. So I think that they're making the merch off of Squid Games and their titles. So I think that that would just be another step. And then on top of that, it also gives them an opportunity to also have that gaming revenue as well, because gaming is about to come back. Though that Grand Theft Auto 6 just can't get its act together. So Take-Two Interactive folks, you better not delay it again. Like, so look, we've had delay after delay, so now that's it. Like May 2026, you will not find Mark Monroe.
Okay.
I'm going on sabbatical for a month.
Right.
I'm going on sabbatical, but if they don't get it right.
All right.
Okay.
So, wait, that was one company.
That was one company.
You have another one.
I'm going to go with Meta.
Okay.
So Meta and its AI spin.
All right, let's talk about it.
All right, so I think that I think that Meta's going to crush it.
Okay.
I think that they're going to crush their earnings. I think that their profit margins are going to be solid. I think that ultimately the stock has been kind of like, I don't know, what is the stock at currently, like 727 or something like that?
Let's see.
It's been trading within a range bound. Do I think that that's going to also reflect as it pertains to the stock performance? I don't know. Even worse. So yeah, I think that ultimately, I think that we could probably see the stock come back down to like 700, 697 if we ever go into a correction. But
they're 1 month. They're 1 month.
Yeah, so they're currently at those all-time high levels. So I think that they're due for a little. Like I said, there's a little bit of exhaustion this month. So I think that ultimately, I think that. But that's a stock to probably, definitely have on your horizon. But so if they do well for their earnings and crushing it, if the stock peaks, then I'm selling it. I'm a seller.
Okay.
If they do well and the stock ultimately sells off, okay, I'm a buyer. But ultimately, it's like the reason why I say this is because you're playing at all-time high levels, and so like, would you rather like risk like just to get a few extra dollars at the top, or would you rather just ultimately take profit? So that's what I would ultimately say as it pertains to that. It's still a great company, still do, but yeah.
All right, I think let's touch on Summit for a little bit because I see some questions in here. So you all, let me just say this. The Summit is designed as an in-person experience. As you know, like we do a lot of online stuff, okay? So like the Summit is the one time a year where Mark and I both agreed to be in the city of Seattle at the same time.
Yeah.
And actually, get to meet you all in person and all that. So it really is designed as an in-person experience. And we hear the cousins that aren't able to make it or they, are somewhere in another country. We hear you. But I just want to say that part of the thing is we have to be able to guarantee that a virtual experience would meet the high standard of a Summit experience. And if we can't do that, we won't do that.
Yeah.
So if we're able to do that, we'll let you know. Otherwise, it's an in-person experience, and maybe you'll just have to link arms with some cousins to talk about like what happened at the Summit. That's the very best we can do right now in this moment. But stay tuned.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else from the Summit? Any more Summit?
Oh, well, let me just say that the Summit is September 18th through the 20th in a beautiful downtown Seattle.
Yes.
Tickets went live yesterday.
They did.
Yes. And they're moving and grooving. So shout out to y'all.
Those VIPs might sell out.
The VIPs will sell out.
I'm saying like within this week, we might have the VIPs
we'll see.
sold out.
We'll see. But the thing about the VIP, did you want to share something about the VIP tickets?
I just know that there's something secretive that's actually happening at the event that's specifically just for the VIPs. That is going to be, like I said, it's going to be
Remember we talked about
It's going to be-
preparation, positioning, and perspective?
Yeah.
There is a special experience only for VIPs. I'm
Yeah.
talking secretive. You need to check your phones at the door.
Yeah,
type
your phones
vibes.
cannot be on for this event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for the VIPs. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I am too.
I will have my notebook.
I'm excited and scared.
Oh, we should have did the evil laugh.
No, real talk though. Even if you like, VIP experience, we always try to create a dope experience for the folks in whom which that want to like support, like so that way we can put on such a great event. And then on top of that, just the overall event itself is going to be dope as well. You guys know how we do it. Like it's always about providing as much value, and the value in which that this year is all about like AI execution and also how do you get to the money. That's going to be the focus. And so by the time when you're done with the summit, which ends on Saturday night.
Yes.
So then that means that essentially if you kicking it around Sunday at Seattle, hey, dope. But the goal is that when you finish the summit, or as you're going to the summit, you can actually be able to like launch pad into a few things and start executing right then and there. So that's the focus.
Yes.
So I'm really, really excited about that. So I'm really excited about the speakers that we have lined up. I'm really, really excited about like the events that will transpire. So yeah, like I feel like this allows us to go above and beyond what we currently did.
And also, there was a question about the hotel cement code.
Yep.
So that will be released shortly.
Yep.
We just have to make sure we're negotiating the very best rate for those that are coming into town. But the rate will be the best rate in downtown Seattle.
Didn't we cut it down like by 50%?
Yeah, it was something crazy.
Yeah.
But we just have to make sure it's not inked yet. So that ink will happen this week. So we'll release that hotel code. But, we want to make sure for those that are coming into Seattle that you have the very best rate for the hotel.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've discussed some of the summit talk.
Oh, wait. There's another question. How do we purchase tickets?
Oh, just go to thetechwealthsummit.com. We'll put it in the description down below after today's episode.
And then somebody said the students can't get the VIP experience.
Well, if the students come with their parents, they can. But we may actually maybe produce an add-on for the students or something. We'll see.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's what was that?
Let's put a pin in
Lady
that.
and Mauve.
Yeah.
Remind me to come back to that.
Yeah.
But right now it's not designed for students. So just remind me.
We might have to put out like a little contest or something.
I don't know, because my only concern is really the space. The amount of space that we have.
That's true.
We're gonna see. So just stand by for that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was everything I wanted to say about the summit. Looking forward to seeing you all again. Totally. Okay, so let's move on.
Economics, right?
Yeah, we have a board right here. Economics.
My favorite board. Yeah, we have this like whiteboard. So a little cheat sheet. So economics. So currently it's expected that we're at a 50-50 chance that the Fed will cut in September. We went from 90% to 50%.
Okay. So
Jerome.
Break it down. Jerome is
Look,
not in the house.
Listen, Jerome is like, he's had to navigate 2025. I don't know how he's going to do it. Like, now, here's the thing that a lot of folks are talking about, like, well, he might get fired and all this other stuff. Well, no.
I don't think he's concerned about that.
I don't think that he's concerned about that at all. But here's the thing that people don't understand. Like, they think that Chairman Powell is the only vote that literally votes on whether or not interest rates are raised or cut, whatever it is. It's a board of governors. So he represents one vote, and then there's other voters that vote upon that decision. So to literally remove Jerome Powell does absolutely nothing if the rest of the board of governors are like, yeah, that's a no for me, dog. So
we're gonna,
So honestly, like I would say, the economy is starting to heat up. I really want to see how travel plays into the conversation. Things that we should definitely keep on the docket is student loan debt.
Okay.
auto loan debt,
Mm-hmm.
housing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three major things that we could possibly see that we see spikes. I don't think that we're going to see spikes in inflation in food and stuff like that.
You bet not.
I don't think that those are going to be it. But housing, you know, especially when we think about the mortgage department, you know, we may have to bring Vic on to the show to discuss, you know, the mortgage, you know,
the mortgage situation,
because he's very, very knowledgeable about that and can give us some pretty dope insights. Like, for example, there's a lot of baby boomers that are holding on to real estate that are also like in their time in their lives where they're phasing out of the job market. And then on top of that, there's folks that are like old in the family and they're relying on relatives to now take care of them. And essentially, like, those are a lot of the premier properties that ultimately carry the most amount of equitable value. And so essentially, like, you know, what does that look like for them? Like, especially when we're talking about taking, you know, like, we once said that real estate is one of those things that produces generational wealth within the family. Well, what does that look like right now? Especially when we see interest rates at a high. And then on top of that, the other thing that I want to also put on everybody's mind is also undergraduate unemployment.
Oh my goodness.
So recent graduate unemployment is actually higher than the U.S. unemployment rate.
So that is definitely something to keep an eye on. Also, you know, I was just thinking about Seattle's market. And right now we're low-key in a buyer's market. We have a lot of inventory, but it's because of all those things that you just said.
Interest rates, and then on top of that, you got wages, student loans that are like, you got folks that are out there that have $800 to $1,200 student loan payments on a monthly basis. So how are you going to be able to pay that and then also carry a mortgage?
Yeah, that debt to income ratio has to be slim jim.
Right. So, you know, there's a lot there that ultimately has to, like, we need some solutions now. And I think that the situation is starting to get a little bit grim, especially for the fact that you have a bunch of students that are coming out of college or that came out of college this most recent graduation, and a lot of them don't have jobs.
Yeah. Well, luckily, see, when you live in a blue state, I can't speak for any other states, but for blue states in particular, and in particular Washington, there's been so many, I guess, financial incentives and things like that, specifically targeting Black home ownership. And so, like, even right now, you can get at least, well, depending on which, you know, way you go about it. But for example, there's one Washington State program that allows you to get either 20% or up to $150,000 in down payment assistance for first-time home buyers who have African American grandparent or parent, I believe. You would have to check for the full details, but that's something that's helpful. But even with that, you're still not gonna find. You still might not find,
because here's the thing: you also have to worry about the interest rate itself.
Yes.
So the interest rate itself is probably gonna like be the slow death that it's not even slow. That's a quite painful death. So I mean, those are the things that we're looking at, and then on top of that, you're seeing layoffs that are happening.
So you better get your house before you get the layoff.
Listen, so like I said, there's a lot of things there that are ultimately like leaning towards the Fed to start cutting rates. The only thing is like we just recently passed a bill that ultimately is going to cause, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna wait till like December because I got a lot to go deep into my bag, and you know
and we have a short amount of time on here.
I don't have enough time to give it to y'all straight no chaser, but ultimately, like, just to leave you with something because we're all from around the way, so we leave them with something. So I would say, like, probably it's definitely still a yes for the Fed cutting rates in September, and maybe December, maybe. But I think that ultimately, if we only get one rate cut this year, I wouldn't be surprised. And ultimately, I would say that we're kicking the can down the road. And ultimately, probably looking at more rate cuts next year, not this year. So the question is, and that's why I said these next 2 weeks could be some real decision making or some real like things that are stirring up the pot towards a decision that will be made in September, as well as what sets the trajectory of us moving forward. Which leads me into my final point, which leads us towards the S&P 500.
Okay.
So there was recently somebody who said S&P 500 to 7,000.
Okay.
No.
Well, break it down. What's the road? The road looking like?
The way that I look at it is that you have to look at things from a simple catalyst as it pertains to here's the easiest way to like literally ingest it. Earnings growth. Is earnings growth as well as like revenue growth.
All right.
Are they increasing or are they decreasing or are they staying stagnant? Now, of course, everybody's forward looking as it pertains to the S&P 500, but at the same token, like that's the benchmark in which I use to say, okay, hey, like, do I see the S&P 500 getting to this point?
Okay.
Now, of course, you have some euphoria that also gets priced into it as well. Like, you know, over bullish sentiment or like, let's say over bearish sentiment that also is cooked into it. But 7,000, what would that require? It would require that you have to have record-breaking earnings incoming. I just don't see it.
Okay.
Well, what I can see
is
a 650, maybe kiss a 6,800.
What's the lowest?
5,400.
Okay.
So 540 in the SPY.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. I could easily see, you know, if the catalysts ultimately die. And so, which means that there is no catalyst on the table that says that, okay, hey, there's no way possible that we're showing that we have positive earnings growth or revenue growth or ultimately earnings per share for the S&P 500, where we're seeing a significant decrease. So what would that look like? You would have to have Apple decline, you have to have Microsoft decline, and honestly, Microsoft just laid off 9,000 people, which is the equation of $2.2 or $2.5 billion, or maybe even $3 billion, give or take, as it pertains to like cut expenses or overhead that they can play into, say, for example, their earnings number. But at the end of the day, the numbers just they're not adding up to the S&P 500 getting to 7,000 unless the market just becomes overly euphoric or unless we see that certain barriers are being released for investors to feel good about going into next year.
Okay, well, Uncle Charles just said they also reported that the immigration policies could cost the GDP $94 billion.
It's true, because ultimately you have a lot of jobs out there that are ultimately just sitting there that are like this is going to affect companies now. So like, I don't really get into the whole politics, the political like landscape of things, because that's not my swag. You know, I'm not a PC type of person.
Okay.
I follow the money. Money doesn't lie. It's something in which that like 1 + 1 = 2.
Okay.
And the way that I look at it is that, okay, hey, if you're removing X of the population, and if X of the other population is not stepping in to, say, for example, go into those roles, then essentially, yes, it's going to have a negative GDP number. And that's ultimately, as it pertains to output, as it pertains to potential revenue, yeah, we're going to see some significant revenue loss. So, yeah, like when you think about payrolls, when you think about payroll tax, when you think about income, like all those things. And then on top of that, since you cut tax, you know, so essentially that's also like cutting exactly what is it that you can earn. So, yeah, the numbers just don't add up right now.
So
they just don't add up.
Yeah. So no to the 7.
I'm saying no to 7,000, unless, like I said, something would drastically have to change in order for that number to get there. Unless we just go into this overall euphoria train. But I mean,
delusion, more like.
Yeah, I definitely see 6,500 on the horizon. That's easy. I can not say easily that we get to 6,800, but it's possible. But and you know,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we've covered everything on the agenda that we wanted to cover today.
I think we did too. So, like, you know, let us know what did we miss? What were some of the questions? Hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions. I'll definitely try to answer some of those. We'll definitely try to answer some of the questions that you have in the comment section down below. I'm not a call out, so that's not my thing.
Okay.
Like, if you want a call out service, go somewhere else. But yeah, so I'm just here to give you my insight and also with a splash of realism. But yeah, so I would say, like, if you have questions as it pertains to market economics summit, our team is around to definitely answer questions. But yeah, those are just my insights as it stands right now. But I will be going deeper into my bag on, like, the themes for me will be AI, econ, and startups for this year's summit. So I hope that you guys are prepared for it. I hope that you guys bring, like, honestly, just for the sake of it, if you're not an iPad user, make sure you buy like 4 composition notebooks. Like, just buy 4. Just buy 4.
Okay, it's going down.
Yeah. And even if you only fill up 2, use the other 2 to, like, talk about execution plan from what is that you learned in the first 2 books. So
nice.
Yeah. But yeah. So that's it. That's all I got. So
that's all she wrote.
All right. Well, y'all, thank you so much for watching us. Thank you for engaging in the conversation. We appreciate y'all for sure.
We do.
Until next time, I'm Mark.
And I'm JolynGC, in the place to be.
And this has been your come up. We will see y'all in the next one. Peace, y'all.